various people. So it's Autism Acceptance Month. And this is the kind of thing that I suppose I need to speak on, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I shouldn't. Right? Because the first thing is that I have a hate cult. So I am kind of aware that everything I say and do that is in any way public, and if it's not public, they're gonna, I mean, people are so desperate to see if I have any kind of horrible skeletons in the fucking closet. They are so desperate because there is this hunger to shame and humiliate and just, it's sickening. Sickening, this obsession people have. So there's that aspect, right? That I am aware that the things I say are going to be interpreted via this very sick and disturbed mind. But via these sick and disturbed minds. And the other thing is that, right, I have mild Asperger's syndrome, and that means I have I basically have the mildest form of autism it is kind of possible to get and still be autistic, right? Like you know, autism is genuinely like a neurocognitive variance, right? And like it's called, it's a learning disability. No, it's not. It's a cognitive variance. It is being different. It is not about superiority. It is not about anything like that. It's just different, right? It's like, what's better, Mac or Windows or Linux? No, they're all operating systems. If you know what you're doing with them, you can do things. And it's like, yeah, well, this operating system can do these things better than these things. Yeah, but that's fine. Like, there is space in the world for things that are better at different things, right? We don't want every human to be exactly fucking alike. Right? Literally, that's why we have sex. That's why we have men and women, is because on a biological level, difference is good. Right? Evolution is about having difference and fostering difference so you can see which works out and which is more viable in the long term. Science is all that as well. Like, you want difference. You don't want everybody to agree the same, think the same. You want to have difference, to drive innovation, to drive change, to drive a better world. You want to have different operating systems. You want to have different kinds of people who think different kinds of things. But unfortunately, we're humans. So we're tribal as fuck. And we're just like, you're stupid and you're wrong and I hate your guts because you use a different operating system. You have a different religion, so fuck you. And it's like, if we are doing this over stuff as stupid as video games and operating systems, then yeah, our attitudes to people who have mental variants is fucking insane. Because here's the thing, guys. Do you want to know the problems I've got in my life? I have got delayed sleep disorder. Okay, that fucks me up because having an unstable sleeping pattern that is constantly shifting, that is crippling. That is utterly crippling. Love life, friends, work, anything. Like, it's everything is put in jeopardy because I don't have a solid sleeping pattern, and I can't, and nobody fucking knows about it. There is no delayed sleep disorder acceptance month or awareness month, okay? Kalman syndrome, no fucker knows about it, right? Because we will elect a president for saying he has a big fucking penis, but even fucking astronauts aren't willing to accept, actually, yeah, I need a small condom. So if you actually have what is known medically as a micro penis, yeah, you aren't going to talk about it, you aren't going to get help for it, you're fucked. You know, I have growth hormone deficiency, which means that, you know, the treatment leaves you tired with headaches and aches in your bones, right? That's treatment. Just a life of aches and pains and tiredness and, oh God, I want to die. Again, there is no growth hormone deficiency acceptance month. Growth hormone deficiency awareness month. But autism, because there are people who are perfectly fine and healthy, but happen to think differently and interact with people differently, because they're different. We've got to have a whole month dedicated to them, and children are not vaccinating their kids because they're terrified their kids might catch autism. Nobody gives a shit about conditions that are actually going to fuck up your life. Nobody cares about delayed sleep disorder. Nobody cares about Kalman syndrome. Nobody cares about growth hormone deficiency. But because autistic people think differently and interact differently as a result, oh my God, the humanity bring back the Black Plague. Just never ever have the slightest bullshit chance of ever possibly being autistic. Right? Parents would genuinely rather their children died horrible, horrible deaths than that they think differently, that they have a cognitive variance. And the thing is, it's that, you know, I'm human too. I understand it's difficult, right? Because autistic people are not like, you know, black people or gay people or Muslims or anything like that. Right? We have cognitive variance, and it is a spectrum of cognitive variance. Which means that just as I find myself wondering, look, am I a Martian and I don't know it? Like, how am I saying words that, like, I think that dictionary definitions say that the words I am saying should be understood by you, like we're both speaking English. So why the fuck are you saying such stuff that suggests you cannot understand a word I am saying? Like, just as I'm like that with neurotypical people, I'm like that with people who are autistic. Because it's a spectrum. There is no autistic person. There are no autistic people. What there are is different people with cognitive variance that is classed under the autistic spectrum. Basically, calling it autism is deciding to make it easier by making it a lot easier to discriminate. That's all it does, right? In terms of study, in terms of understanding, right, doesn't help anything. There are all kinds of different subcategories for what kind of pituitary condition have you got affecting your brain, but the moment it becomes cognitive variance, autism, autism, all autism. Never mind that Asperger's syndrome has its own separate definition, right? It's brought under autism because fuck having specificity in this field, fuck having understanding of the fact that these people have differences. No, what matters is we've got a nice little box so we can say, you're different and I'm gonna beat you with sticks now. Beep, 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 fuck you, you bastard, you're born differently, you're gonna die in hell. It's just horrible. It's just horrible the way that society has decided that all these individuals are under one identifiable group. Like, there are people who say, I look autistic. There is no way you can look autistic. Autism is a cognitive variance. It does not affect your physical characteristics. Right? It is not like Down syndrome. There is no autism face. Right? The reason I look fucked up is because of Kalman syndrome and growth hormone deficiency. Not because of autism. Autism is entirely fucking different. But you dumb shits don't know anything. Which is kind of surprising, considering that I bet a good third to a half of you have autism, even if you don't know it. Although that doesn't mean that I don't find myself getting annoyed when people self-diagnose themselves autism. Or when people say, oh, well, Albert Einstein was clearly autistic. Guys, I know you think you're trying to help by saying, look, this has a legacy, but all you are doing is you are painting people in the past with the shame brush. Because autism does not mean a medical variance that we should love and respect, and that we should treat with kind of respect and due diligence to the fact that these people are different. No. Autism means he weird, he weirdo, he weird, let's beat him with sticks. There is no autism. There is no autism. None at all. All these books on what is autism like, what is your autistic child like, don't fucking listen to them, don't read them, just bloody burn them, right? Because the only way you're gonna know what a person with autism is like is if you fucking speak to them. Because saying autism is about as informative as saying person. Well, this computer's got the Apple operating system. Oh, really? Which version? What programs does it have installed? What's the desktop theme like? What's the what's the settings like? What has it been customized? You know, it's even the most locked down operating system in the world has a lot of differences between individual users. And we can accept that. But when it comes to something that is defining a cognitive variance and a spectrum of cognitive variance, suddenly we expect people to have a lot more similarity and a lot more homogeneity than an operating system on a computer that is a whole lot less complex than the human brain, right? We expect a degree of homogeneity and similarity with people that we do not expect of computers, that we do not expect of machines, right? We understand that things can be different, and you have to accept that, and you have to look into that, and you have to be okay with that and work with the differences. You can't just use someone else's computer and expect it to work exactly the same as yours. We understand that and accept it. The moment we're talking about people, though, we get angry and upset. This person doesn't think like me. How dare they? How dare they? They should be burned at the stake because they think differently. We should kill all the children because we can't let them risk being like that. Because being different is wrong in the eyes of the world. The Doctor said it best back in fucking 1963. A dislike for the unlike. Anything different is wrong, and anything that is wrong is something to be afraid of, and what we are afraid of we try to destroy. Autistic people are different. That is all they are. Different. I cannot tell you what autistic people are like because there are no autistic people. There are only individuals who fall under the autistic spectrum. Right? I can genuinely say more similarities between neurotypical women than I can between autistic people. Because autistic people, their whole defining characteristic is they think differently. So having an autistic spectrum is basically like saying, yes, this entire thing is pointless and worthless because we are going to define a condition for how you should treat people because they're different on the fact that they're different, and then we're not gonna neatly clarify, oh, this person has got this kind of condition, right? There is no point to having autism as a medical condition if it's going to be a spectrum and you don't delineate, right? Because here's the thing, right? The way they diagnose autism, at least in the NHS, is they ask you to fill out a questionnaire. So what they could presumably do is have like a series of categories and breakdowns of like, if this person answers this and that, then they fall into this category. If this person answers this and that, and yes, it's going to be changeable. But you know what, guys? At least it would be a more useful than having some vague block of discriminate against these people. You know, I intended to, you know, make a video about what my experience is being autistic, but I don't have any experiences being autistic because it doesn't impact upon my life. It doesn't. Not really. The only way it impacts upon my life is because people are fucking stupid. Because like, the thing about autism, at least in my case, my particular point on the fucking spectrum, is that I give a shit about definitions. Right? I say what I mean. I'm honest. No fucker in the world is honest. That's why people can't stand me. That's why they are looking for skeletons. That's why they are obsessing over me. Because he's honest. Come on, get it. Things. And by the way, that craziness, that's you. That's you. That is me doing an impersonation of your insanity. That is not autism. That is you in the way you obsess over the fact that someone is different and how dare they be different. You know, I said autistic people were superior. That's not right. There are no autistic people. Neurotypical people, however, neurotypical people are inferior. Neurotypical people are bland and they're boring and they don't get anything. They don't understand. They don't take the time to learn. You know, there is this group, this supposed charity called Autism Speaks, which basically abuses autistic people to try to make them abide by fucking neurotypical standards. Well, here's an idea. How about Neurotypical Speaks, where we are gonna abuse you dumb motherfuckers into actually taking the time to understand that autistic people are different and you should treat that difference with fucking respect. Anytime you approach an autistic person and you decide to gloss over their differences and uniqueness and just say, oh, well, they're autistic. Anytime you believe anti-vaxxer bullshit Anytime that you decide to go, oh, he's got autism face, anytime that you decide to discriminate and generalize an entire bunch of cognitive variants of all these different individuals as just one thing, anytime you are a bigoted, sinful shithead, you get the cattle prod. You get the cattle prod until you fucking learn that people are to be treated with fucking respect. How about we do that? Yeah? Neurotypical speaks. You know, once a month we send out a reminder to all the autistic people, make sure you cattle prod your neurotypical people anytime they don't fucking treat you with respect. We go out with fucking tasers, and anytime some fucking stupid ass neurotypical person decides to be a dickhead to us, they get the taser. Because here's the thing, guys. You're the problem, actually, neurotypical people. You're the problem. Because, you see, you are able to adapt. You are people who are not limited by having an adherence to the truth. You're people who are able to fucking give a shit. But you don't, because you can't be fucked. So how's about this? You know, I'm not seriously going with the cattle prod idea, but I might be tempted if someone ever decides to come to my house and do something as stupid as that. Well, I might do worse, to be fair. No. I'm not seriously suggesting that we abuse the neurotypical people, because that's wrong and revenge is wrong. But treat autistic people with respect. Because they're people. Right? They are people who think differently from you and who think differently from one another. And I am so fed up of people trying to say, I've got kinship with you because I'm autistic as well. No, you don't have kinship with me. Because, guess what? Everybody in the world has had people that they have felt othered from. Right? The whole reason that white straight men have an outrageous lash out against, you know, women and black people and autistic people and Muslims and what have you, is that they don't like feeling excluded. Right? The very bigotry we are fighting against is this feeling of inferiority and not understanding. I don't give a shit if you've got autism. I give a shit about who you are as a person. And you can still be a fucking bellend while being autistic. I will say this, however. If you're going to be autistic and you are going to have a go, don't say all. If you're going to have a go at an autistic person, list your reasons. I know that it is difficult because society generally is shitty towards people who explain their reasons, right? But autistic people so often have to try so hard to negotiate neurotypical life that if you are going to have a go at someone, if you're going to hate someone, explain why. They may still decide, you're full of shit, I don't care, go away. But at least you are giving them a chance to fucking learn. Although again, maybe we should just do that for neurotypical people as well. Although then, I suppose, what we'd get is a lot of very frustrated autistic people, as they're just like, why don't you understand the English fucking language, you bastards? I am speaking English! Fucking speak it! I am speaking the words and I mean the words that I am saying. Why do you not mean the words that you say? Why do you interpret so many different things when I am literally going by the fucking dictionary definitions, you fucking asswipes? You know? Like, you don't need to try hard to understand an autistic person. They literally only say what is meant by fucking dictionary definitions. No autistic person. Oh no, can't say that because autistic people are people and people are different. But autistic people, because their worlds are so unsure, because they feel so fucking alien, we stick sort of like anchors in the ground of like common ground. This is why I used to talk so much about fucking Doctor Who. Because it's common ground. It is a cultural anchor to say, well, this is a fucking massive thing that you might have heard of. Can we discuss around this? Like, you know, I mean, of course, now I have expanded my knowledge so I can talk about, you know, Star Trek and Star Wars, and I can talk about, you know, the West Wing. What do you think about politics? What do you think about automation? You know, I can talk about all these different subjects, you know, Rome, all this. It's just about having the cultural anchors. It's just about, you know, like having solid fucking ground to work from. You know, it is like we're fucking aliens among this this different species, and we just have to keep going. No, but like, look, we have this in common, yeah? Let's go back to this. We understand this, yeah? Like this, you know? This is why I keep fucking referring to Doctor Who, because just using my words isn't fucking enough. Right? Because so many times I have said something clearly and explicitly, and people have reacted in entirely different ways that I have not expected, because they are taking from the basic fucking words that have dictionary definitions, and they are interpreting all of this cultural and social context. And so that's why I like to say, no, this context, this context, this context, this context. Right? The reason you can't understand autistic people is that you are interpreting their words differently. And the thing is, I've done this. I've done this myself. You know, I dated an autistic guy who's more autistic than me, and like, one of the moments things kind of stalled was because, like, I speak funny, okay? I've got a speech impediment. That's literally why the name The Farshnook was created. Because because I wanted to create a username that was Farshnook, as in, like, a farcical nuke. You know, a kind of comedic mess up of a nuke. Because, you know, it was the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy sort of forum thingamajig. So, you know, and a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy opens with the Earth being destroyed to make way for a bypass, and so therefore, you know, the idea of a comical bomb going wrong seemed to fit. But I've got a speech impediment, and I was spelling out the words, so I went, Farshnook, F-A-R-S-H, yeah, that makes sense. I've got a speech impediment, and this autistic guy I was with just laughed, because that's funny, sounds funny, and I just kind of lost it, because kind of, I didn't just take him at face value. I didn't just take him at just the fact that this guy he's laughing because the words that I'm saying sound like something else because I've accidentally made a pun or whatever, or because, you know, it's just people having funny voices sounds funny, right? I just completely flipped my shit because I was like, no, but this is like bullying and this is like that, and he has no frame of reference for anything I'm referring to. Autistic people are different, and so because they are different, they have to go with stuff that is definable, right? The reason we are so fucking black and white in our fucking morality is that we can't afford not to be. We have to stake everything down so fucking hard because otherwise we get lost. You know, and it's like my mother will freak out going, use your common sense, and it's like, I don't have them. Common sense is instinctual social bullshit that you learn as a neurotypical person. And now I've got a headache. So I think we're going to call an end to this. Yeah. Long story short, fucking listen to the autistic people. Treat them how they want to be fucking treated. And I know it's difficult because, god damn it, I lost my shit. Because people who are different are difficult to talk with. And, you know, when you struggle to interact with people who think this different way so much of the time, then trying to communicate with someone that you have absolutely no frame of reference for how to talk to them is very, very difficult indeed. And I think we could get a hell of a lot better as a society and as a people if we could get better at communicating with people we have no frame of reference for. I mean, God fucking help us if we ever actually come across alien life that is sentient or sapient, or if we end up, creating artificial life, because we can barely struggle to understand people who have cognitive variances that speak the same language and have grown up in the same culture. So how the fuck are we going to handle, species that have traveled here from, home planets, light years away? How the fuck are we going to understand a life form that is made of code? How the fuck are we going to cope with the challenges facing the human race in the future if we can barely struggle to understand people who are so very, very similar? Anyway, I'm going to go and read a book on politics. Bye. Thank you for watching my main channel. Please remember to leave a like, favourite and comment. Shout out to the dislike club. Subscribe if you like what you saw, and share if you know someone who might be interested in the contents of this video. If you would like to help ensure more videos get made, there are a few options available to you. You can whitelist this channel in your adblock software to ensure what ad revenue you provide has a chance of making its way to me. If you sign up to make a regular monthly donation through my Patreon, then you will get to watch a selection of videos available exclusively to my Patreon supporters over at my Patreon page. One-off donations are payable through PayPal, or if that doesn't suit your sensibilities, you can gift items through Steam or Amazon via my public wish lists. Obviously, I don't expect anything, and the vast majority of my videos will remain free and ad-supported. All that remains is to say Trump should be impeached, the genocidal must be stopped, and institute universal basic income now.